The ocean might look like a vast empty space, but in fact it's teeming full of microscopic life, both plants called phytoplankton and animals called zooplankton. And in my work, I'm particularly interested in a specific group of phytoplankton called the Coccolithophores. And the Coccolithophores are really interesting and unique because they produce these shells formed out of calcium carbonate, and they're really intricate and they're pretty amazing. And you've probably met them before because their crushed remains, millions and millions of them, form the White Cliffs of Dover. But scientifically, they're really interesting and important as well because this production of calcium carbonate in the surface waters and their death and subsequent fall to the seafloor is a really important component of the global carbon cycle. Now, there are over 200 different species of Coccolithophore in the ocean, but we tend to only study one species, which is Ammaliania huxleyi, or E. huxleyi, which is the one around the outside. There's lots of them. And there's some good reasons for this. It's the most abundant and well-distributed species of Coccolithophore in the ocean. And it's also really easy to grow in the lab. However, it's a relatively small species of Coccolithophore. And in fact, other species, such as this one in the middle, which is Coccolithus Pelagicus, can have over 50 times more calcite per cell than a single cell of E. huxleyi. So the question is, Coccolithus pelagicus is nowhere near as abundant as E. hux. So the question is it actually as important? Which one's producing more calcium carbonate in the ocean? And that's what my PhD is trying to answer. And one of the ways I've tried to do this is to go to sea and measure calcite production in different communities. And then I also combine this with I measure this using radioactive carbon-14. I then combine this with counts of the different Coccolithophore community. And from this, I can work out which species are producing how much calcite. And I've got a summary example over there, which shows you that the abundance of Coccolithophores and their calcite production in the Arctic. And what you can see is for the abundance, Coccolithus pelagicus is that tiny little blue bit over there. And it's hardly any. It's only about 3% of the total abundance in the Arctic. E. hux is actually only around 25%, and then everything else, there's lots of other small species which are actually dominating the abundance. But if we work out how much each species is producing in terms of calcite, we can see that there's a massive difference. Coccolithus pelagicus is producing over half the calcite in the Arctic, and E. hux is less than a quarter. So what we can see here, this is quite clearly shown that actually within the Arctic, Coccolithus pelagicus is biogeochemically the most important Coccolithophore when it comes to this calcite production. And this work, along with other aspects of my PhD, have gone to show that while E. huxleyi is the most abundant and widespread Coccolithophore in the ocean, other species have a really important biogeochemical role that we need to pay attention to as well. Thank you.